And I think you've said on TV before, Mr. Feinberg, that you would use your bully pulpit to affect change to the extent that you saw evidence of what you would consider excessive compensation. So obviously, that would go beyond the 5 companies and would affect at least 419 companies and perhaps many more, and could affect what the people in this audience could earn down the road when they decide to leave Columbia and get into the private sector. So could you talk a little bit about the role of the bully pulpit in this, and then I'll open up to questions from the audience.
It's discretionary. I'm not mandated to claw back any of that money. I was mandated to send a letter. The statute says that I shall secure the top 25 compensation in 2008 and 9 from any company that ever received a nickel of top. Now, I'm mandated to do that. The letter went out 3 weeks ago. I'll get the data in the next week and review it. Whether or not I do anything, and this I did point this out a few minutes ago, whether or not in my discretion I take any bully pulpit action against any company for excessive compensation under the statute and the regulations remains to be seen.
That's scary.
Yeah. You should have voted against it.
I do. We're talking about the creeping influence problem. All of a sudden we're going from 7 to 419 and the same sanction of bully pulpit in both cases.
No.
It's frightening.
No. The 7 companies, I must set the compensation. The 419 companies, I'm not saying that you're not chilled by it. I understand. I'm required by law to send the letter out. The letter went out. I'll wait to see what the date. By the way, in my infinite wisdom, I did say, any one of those 419 companies who did not have anybody getting more than $500,000 a year in the top 25 doesn't even have to just send back a letter saying you don't have a certification, and you're out. I don't even look at the stuff. So we've already got already with a week to go, about 130 companies have already sent back a one-liner saying, "Dear Mr. Feinberg, I hereby certify nobody got more than $500,000 during 2008-9, and very truly yours." So it won't be 419 companies.
It's just scary to think about Feinberg too coming into this office with a different agenda. I'm arguing against your success. Somebody asked the question.
I now remember this is an evidence student.
Okay, well, I understand.
And I'm actually on call in the morning again, so I'm a bit afraid of you, Professor Feinberg. But this is for Professor Feinberg, and this gets back to your discussion about $500,000 cap on salaries. It is a big deal for the finance industry to put that cap for the top 25 people. And this is a well-worn argument, but I just wanted to pose it anyway. But to what extent has that cap limited the ability of these companies to hire the people they wanted for those 25 top spots?
It hasn't had any impact that I can tell because they filled the spots with, quote, somebody. But I will say this in response to Richard's point earlier. Richard, I think, said in rebuttal that as a result of what I'm doing, there's a danger, I guess, of a mass exodus of people.
No, I said there's a welcome exodus of companies from the city.
Oh, that's all right. The fact of the matter is, we already have it's again a small cohort because it's all I'm dealing with. 85% of the people whose pay was set by me in 2009 are still there in these companies in 2010. The other 15%, I don't know whether they retired, went to another job, died, or whatever. But I think empirically, at least, very small group. There are reasons other than economic while people stay at a job. Loyalty, friends, easy travel, commute. I mean, there are factors that are not financial. I mean, that may be why, there are professors that stay at a law school rather than move around, because there are reasons other than financial. I assume there are a lot of reasons other than financial.
Yeah, look, I mean, to answer that question, there's no question that the full compensation package is class plus, plus, plus. One of the things that we don't know is to whether or not these companies have made implicit offsets in the other kinds of terms of compensation that are out from underneath this radar, which are essentially ways of stopping it. The other thing that you have to take into account is that not all of these people are going to be absolutely at the tipping point. There may be some employee surplus which is going to be reduced but not eliminated. That's a social loss in some sense, but it's not going to create some kind of a job change. And the third feature, which I think protects him, is that even outside of the top umbrella, large and small, executive compensation in the last several years has started to go down. And so what happens is in the declining market, the price caps that he's imposed are of less harm. So what happens, I think he's been an extraordinarily skillful and an extraordinarily lucky individual with respect to those elements.